Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. My name is Tony. I'm the Sales and Partnerships Manager here at GovReports. Appreciate you taking the time out of your day at 6 p.m. in Sydney, and could be a different time depending on where you are. Today is webinar number 6 for the year, and the title today is Onboarding New Clients from Start to Finish with GovReports. We're going to cover a lot of client onboarding. I have also with me today Tiana, who many of you may have met out and about, and we've got the wonderful Ali Cochran, who will be presenting for us. If you don't know about Ali, she's covers quite a few areas. So she's a fellow of IPA, a fellow of CPA. She's a member of the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers, and a lot more. So if you go to her website, Total Bookkeeping and Business Solutions, you can learn more about her if you don't know yet. A little bit about what we do. We always have a mix of people on these webinars, that a lot that have known us for a while and some that don't know us. So if you're not sure who we are, what we do, back in 2010, we set out to create the best cloud-based tax lodgement solution on the market. And fast forward 16 years later, we're still building. So we're releasing new integrations and features every month. As of today, we've got more than 4,000 customers around Australia, a mixture of BAS agents, tax agents, and businesses as well. Still got a long way to go. So we're still building, as I said. A little bit of housekeeping. We won't be able to hear you today, but we encourage questions. So we want to make it a two-way dialogue. So please do go ahead and pop your questions into the little questions box on the top right-hand side with a question mark. If they pop into your head or you're not sure of anything, just put them straight in. We'll endeavour to answer them as we go. If we don't have time as we go along, we'll make some time at the end and we'll cover off all the questions. I think that's about it from me. So I'm going to hand it over to Ali and I'll speak to you guys a little bit later.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Hi, everybody. Welcome. As Tony said, today we're going to cover off onboarding new clients from start to finish with GovReports. So this will cover for people who've never used GovReports before. This is going to show you how it can work. For those of you who may not be using all the functionality, there's some additional stuff in there as well. So what we're going to look at today is I've broken down into a couple of areas, how you can onboard new clients. So we'll look at importing details with links, syncing, accessing integrated client accounts, viewing ATO communications. We're going to look at the various client management tools that are in there, like file notes, tags, letters and templates, e-signatures and folders. We're going to look then at creating that professional engagement letter using the letters and templates, but it's not just engagement letters. We'll talk about Office Practice Manager for streamlining your processes and your workflows to give you a practice management tool. And we'll talk about the digital authentication, which captures signatures. So it's a little bit more than just e-signatures. And it's not just for BAS lodgements, tax returns, and other documents. All right, so I'm going to switch across now straight into GovReports. So I'm just going to change screens. So bear with me for just a second while I can change screens. And right now, you should be seeing my GovReports. Tony, can you confirm that's what you're seeing, just to be sure?
Yep, perfect, Ali.
Okay, so when you log into GovReports, you've got to the dashboard here. Along the left-hand side, you have your bird's eye view, gives you a snapshot of what's happening. You can see here about outstanding reports, saved reports, due dates, lodgements, statistics, etc., and some jobs that are happening and signed reports. So you've got a lot of information on this dashboard. The area we're going to look at first is the My Clients area. So I'm going to click on this. Oh, and decides to, because I've been quiet for a little while. It's okay. And when I click for My Clients, I get a display of My Clients. So these are the ones that are existing. I want to add a new client. So to do that, I can press the new button and it comes up with a screen here where I can either import information from the ATO based on the ABN that we've got there. And that would assume that you will already have the connection with the client on the portal. So in here, you might pick up an individual or a non-individual. So if I'm going to say non-individual this time, even though it could be an individual, I would have to put an ABN number in there. Now, if I don't put a valid ABN number in there, I'll just show you. It will come up and tell me it's not a valid ABN. So I'm just going to leave it for the moment because I'm not going to put my own one in there. But in here, if you put the actual ABN in, you could import the information and sync that data directly from it. You'll need to make sure that you have got the correct branch number that you're pulling. If you're doing tax returns and things like that, you will need, you have your tax file number will come through, and then you can choose. I'm just going to do individual for the moment. I'll just take this out for a moment. And my system has seemed to have frozen, which is delightful. Bear with me for a second. It's just, there we go. New, okay. And of course, all good things have to have a little hiccup. So in here, you could put in the organization's name, what type of what type is it? Is it a company? Is that going to be the main name that you're going to be used for it? Is this the trading name of it? I'm going to call it the main name. And then I can check whether it's a company, and it might have a different name as a trading name. I'm just making things up on the fly. And then I can choose what I want to display it as, either the main name or the trading name. And then I can choose my client status. So if this is a lead that I'm setting up, and I haven't imported anything from the ATO in this case, if I've got an ABN number up there, and this is a lead because I want to generate an engagement letter for them or a proposal for them, I would choose a lead here. In my display name, I can see here, I'll just choose frugality. It'll automatically give it a client reference number. Now, if you have already got the connection with the client and you've already done what you needed to do and you're bringing them on board that way and you've brought the information in from the ATO, the other thing that you can choose down here at the bottom of the screen is this pull the ATO outstanding reports. This means it will automatically grab any outstanding IASs and BASs or whatever you're doing for them. It will automatically pull it into an area that you can look at, which we'll cover off shortly. So in here, once everything is fine, I would just click Save. Now, I'm not going to do that here because it's got missing information. So I'm going to go into an existing client here, Chelino, and you can see in here that once the data is entered, you've got the options here to go in and edit, or if you go to the forms here, you can also go through and select the forms you want to bring in manually. In our ATO services, we have the ability here to bring in our ATO accounts. And when we synchronize the accounts, it will bring in, as you can see from here, I'm just going to collapse this to give us a little bit more width. We've got the integrated client account. We've got the super guarantee employer. We've got so you can see the information that is here. You'll also see on here that you're able to view any payment plans. And if you go to view a payment plan, you also will get the option here to create a payment plan. So it's an easy way to manage everything to do with your client here. We also have ATO communication down here. Now this one won't have anything in it, I would think. But we will go into that a little bit more. That's at the client level. But however, if I go over here into my ATO reports, I can look at my ATO communications on an entire practice level and actually see, when it comes up, all the communications that have been happening for my clients. And here you have your action points where you can download it, you can forward it, you can archive it, you can mark it as unread. And this gives you everything. So if you've got a practice where someone goes in every day and checks what's any communications from the ATO, like overdue notices or penalty notices or whatever it may be, you can see here the subject and you can see the client name. And so you can look at it from an entire practice management level. I'm going to go back to my client again, Chelino. And I'm going to show you also within here some of the other tools that are available. So I'm just going to shrink this back. So along the top here, you have a menu bar with various options. Here you have a file note area. So if you want to add a note in, such as customer has entered into a payment plan for the December BAS, reference number, whatever it might be, you can do that. You also have the option, so now it's there as a file note, to add attachments. And when you added attachments, you can upload it to either your Dropbox or to a drive. Not to forget, we also have the More area here, where we have the ability to create tags for a particular client. Now, tags are a way of grouping things. You might use it for creating tags for different types of services you provide, like payroll or doing BAS lodgements, IAS lodgements, might be STP finalisation, might be TPAR, it might be tax returns, might be company tax returns. So you can create a tag for your customer, and you can do that here. Now you can see here that this has already got 2 tags, quarterly BAS and STP finalisation. And if I click here, you can see the balance of the tags I could choose from, or I could actually add a new tag here. This is not the only place that I can also do tags. If I go back to my bird's eye view and I go to my clients, I have a tags option here, which allows me to search by tag. Or if I go into my practice settings, which will take a second to load, I also have a tag feature in there, which will also allow me to create new tags. I'm just waiting for it to come up. It's thinking. It's that time of the evening where it wants to go back to sleep. So I'm just waiting for it to come. Come on, that's it. Okay. So down here in the practice settings, I have tags. So in here, I can actually manage my tags, create new ones, attach the tag. So I can attach the tag to multiple clients here at one time. So I can tick the multiple clients that I want. Rather than doing it individually at every client level, I could go through and actually manage my tags here and then go through and attach each category of tag to every single client it applies to. Much easier to do it that way. The next stage, we've now brought in our new client, we've added them in there. What we might want to do now is onboard them by using something like letters and templates. So I'm going to go back to my practice settings. I'm just going to be, no, I'm not going to cheat. I'm going to have to go here just to make it work. I'm going to go into my practice settings here. I could have just as easily gone to the settings up here to do it, or I could have gone to my main screen to do it. And down the bottom here, we have templates and letters. Now, the templates and letters are not limited to engagement letters or discontinuation. You could use this for multiple things. So you can see in this example on the screen that I have a letter that I did for COVID funding assistance. So I used it like a newsletter to update clients about what COVID funding was available. I could have a discontinuation of engagement letter. I could have an ethical letter. And we're going to cover this off in a little bit more detail in a moment. But I also want to show you the other areas that, some of the other tools that we can use, and we're going to look at them in a little bit more detail as we go along. So the little cube up here, the colourful cube, allows you to click on digital authentication. And this is where you have access to e-signatures. So you just click that little cube and it takes you into the digital authentication area. You'll notice it opens a totally different window. The templates are still here, and it opens a different window altogether. I'm going to close that one and go back here because I now want to show you another area that helps us, and that is our saved reports area. Under the My Lodgements, we have saved reports, and in the saved reports area, we can create folders that we can categorize how we want them. I've just done it in this way that I'm basing it on the stage of processing that they're at. So I've created some different folders. You simply click the plus to create a folder, and you can give it a name, choose a color, and close it. The other thing you can do from here is you can tick one of them, and you can either lodge it from here because it's ready to go, or you can move it to one of your folders. So you see now how that's quite useful in being able to group things together and organize things for your clients. We're going to pop back now and talk about actually onboarding our new clients, creating an engagement letter. So we created that lead customer, Frugality, which I didn't save. We're going to go into the settings. I'm going to go into my practice settings because engagement letters are one of the most important documents that you will need in your practice. They set up that scope and expectation for both your practice and your clients, and it offers some protection for you. So if a disagreement arises around the scope, you've got something in writing. So let's take a look at setting one up. But before we do that, I should have gone here to my settings and gone into my practice settings. One of the things we want to do is we want to make sure that in our settings in here, we have our client services listed already. So in here, we have a series of client services that are here. This can be edited and added to. So in here, you can just see a number of services that have been set up. When you go into edit, you can go down here, you can remove, you can add, you can see the plus sign in each section. You could plus, you could delete it. You could edit it with the little pencil, edit the title. So you can see you have quite a bit that you can group things together and add things within each section, within each category for you. Once you're happy with your services there, we go back to our practice settings and to our templates and letters. And from this screen, we're going to create a new template. If we want to create a brand new template, that's fine. Or we could choose an existing template to use. In this case, I'm going to show you both ways. First, to create a template and what happens then when you do that. So in here, we might give this a name, termination of engagement. Okay, and it's to do with engagement, or it might be ethical, whichever one you want to choose to. Notice down here that you have placeholders. So in here, I'm going to put something like re-termination of engagement. And I might make that bold. Don't want the next line to be, well, I don't want it italic and I don't want it bold. The next one. And then in here, I might choose the client name. Oh, not the structure, wrong name. So you can see here I can add in my placeholders. I know it's there, client name. And then you do the client address, etc. And then you go in and you type your letter. When you're finished, you'll click the Save button. Now, once the template is saved, it will automatically open up ready for you to create your new letter. So this is if you want a brand new template. If you want to use an existing template, you can go into here and start a new letter. So let me go to this one. And go start. And you'll see here discontinuation of engagement. I put in my start, end date, placeholders. Choose the particular client you want to do it for. Go in here and you see, because you've already put the placeholders in, it will do this, etc., etc. It'll go through and you can actually then preview it. Let me save it first. Then I haven't put my dates in. Helps if I put my dates in. That'll do for the moment. Just for this, save it and preview it. Can you see my letter at all, or just the screen still?
Just the screen still.
Can you see the letter now?
Yep.
Okay. So you can see there's your discontinuation of engagement. So you can see that you can see various types, you can create various types of documents, and you can, sorry, I'm just going back to the other screen now, and you can therefore use this quite powerfully for creating new letters, creating newsletters, ethical letters, engagement letters, newsletters. It's totally up to you. Now, if you are creating an engagement letter, such as this one, in here, you would add the services that you want to choose for this person. So I've chosen some, and you could see there that those services would then, when we're going through with the letter, if it was completed, it would populate your engagement letter with those services. Now, once you're done with it and you're happy with it and you've previewed it, you can send it for e-signature or email it to the client. If you send it for e-signature, it will automatically open up the digital authentication app. So if I went to here, it will take it to another screen. And it would then let me go through that. Are you seeing the e-digital one still?
Yep, we're seeing the add documents screen.
Wonderful. All right. So
Yep.
if I go back to screen now, I'm going back to GovReports.
Yep.
So there we could go through and actually send the document off, and we'll talk a little bit more about the e-signature screen later in a little bit more detail. Now, if you need any more help on letters and templates, go to the help area and the user guide, and you will find a wealth of information about that. It takes you right through. All right. We're now going to look at your Office Practice Manager. So what we've looked at just in this last little section is we looked at creating a new client. We looked at how we could import information through the direct link to the ATO. We looked about syncing the ATO data, showing you the integrated client account and also the ATO client communications at a client and practice level. We looked at some of the other client management tools, file notes, tags, letters and templates, e-signatures and folders, very briefly. And we've just looked at creating a letter or template. What we're going to look at now is setting up that Office Manager to streamline our process. So in the My Practice area of GovReports is where you'll find Office Practice Manager. It's free with your subscription. Now, there are a number of templates that can be set up in your Office Practice Manager for your workflow. You can create jobs, you can create tasks, and you can create recurring jobs. When we look at our job templates, you'll see they contain tasks and recurring. Now, once you've set up jobs, and if they're of a recurring nature, you'll find them in this scheduled area. So you've got My Jobs will show all the jobs. The scheduled jobs will be ones you've already set up with a future date happening. So if I look at my scheduled jobs, I should in there find some scheduled jobs. Sorry. So you can see.
Did you want to take a break and grab a drink, Ali?
No, I'm right. I'm good.
You're good?
So in here, you'll see that you've got a start date, a finish date, or start date, when it's next going to due to occur. So just bear with me for a minute while I cough.
Yeah, we'll just give Ali a break for a sec. If you do have any questions at this point, as I said, put them into the questions panel, and we can start reviewing those and getting some answers ready.
I'm just getting the water from the desk here.
Yeah, all good. Ali's kind of working off-site today, and she's got to run for a plane after this, so she's been a very, very busy lady.
Okay, so you can see the scheduled jobs there. Now, if you go into the jobs area, you'll also see a My Tasks. So within the jobs, you have tasks. So the hint I can give you here is to make sure that you actually set your tasks up first before you set up your jobs. It makes it a lot easier. So in here, we have our job templates. We have a default task template, which comes with some default ones already created. And any that you create yourself or you clone one and you change it becomes a custom task. The other thing to remember is you have job templates which are one-off as opposed to recurring job templates. You need to make sure that if you've got something of a recurring nature, you set it up as a recurring job template, because you cannot convert a job template into a recurring one. That's one of the first things I learned through my own trial and error. So you can see here these default ones that we have. Now, rather than reinventing the wheel, if you're happy with a lot of the stuff that is on this one, then you can actually clone it, give it a new name, choose whether you want to share it with everybody, and then you'll see that all the tasks come up. So you might go through and say, well, you know, some of these might not be applicable. You know, you might go through and just delete the ones that aren't necessarily relevant. Or you may decide that you want to add something in each section to the checklist. So you could type something in here. So you have quite a lot of flexibility there. So now if I go to my custom task template, where's my default ones? I just didn't save it then. That's the biggest mistake I made just then. Clone it. Smart of me. That was a rookie mistake. Save it. Oh no, it's there somewhere. Why is it not showing up? That's bizarre.
Maybe just refresh the page and see if it comes up.
Yeah, I'm going to do that now. It's just still bizarre. It's not showing. It's obviously something with mine.
No, because you had the same template earlier. You had the same template. You can't have the same one.
But I went clone and gave it a different name.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I called it Babs template 2. But it came up and told me that it was there. That's bizarre. I don't know. It's gone into the ether.
Now you've refreshed it, maybe try again.
It's just bizarre. Not quite sure what's happening with it's maybe something at my end. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, normally when you do this, it will actually put it into your custom area. Just trying to think, am I missing it? Oh, because here's one I did earlier. Oh, it might be on this page. There it is. It's on the second page. That's why. So here it is here. From this area, as I said, we can edit it. We can do what we want to do with it. From this area, once I go through and amend what I want to amend, if I want to go through and edit it and add a new task in, whatever I decide to do, once I've done with that, the next stage for me is to actually go through and attach it to jobs. But I haven't created the jobs yet. I'm focusing first on creating my tasks. Let's go and have a look at our jobs next, because as I said, create the tasks first, then do the jobs. If we go to our jobs area, you'll see the My Jobs, Schedule Jobs, My Tasks, Job Templates. The job template lets you, as I said, create a single job, not recurring in nature. So when we want to create a new job, we simply go here to My Jobs and click New. We're going to create a new job. We have to give it a name that is meaningful. I'm just trying to think. I'm just going to put something that's very relevant to us all today. I could choose a client right now, or I could leave it for a little while. I'm just going to set the basic job up. In the tasks here, I could add my tasks in here manually, or I could select a custom task template that I want to use to bring it in. I'm just going to bring anything in for the moment just to demonstrate it. And when I do that, you'll see now that it's copied in the task that I had in there that's related to this. So that's why I say create your task first. It makes it easier to just bring the tasks in rather than having to type everything in manually. Once we've done that, I can click save. And it's going to come up, and I have my Payday Super now. So I can see my tasks, any file notes that I can have, that sort of thing. So in here, that's great. In here, you can see that I can add timesheets, reminders, Dropbox attachments, drive attachments. I can go in and I can edit it. The other thing I can do, if I go to, where's my jobs? Sorry, just getting to my next one. Going to my jobs now. There is it. Yeah. Okay. So in here, I'm going to just call it up. Looking for my Payday Super. Let's do it this way. So in here, I've got my job. Why haven't I got what I'm doing? I'm having a senior moment. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? I've missed a step because I want to add my clients. I have the ability to add my clients as well. I'm having a senior moment. Why is it not doing what I want it to do? I clicked on save. I'm going to go to a recurring job. Just bear with me for a minute. Recurring job. Job template. So in here, I can attach to, once I've created the job template, oh, it's because I created it as a job, not a job template. I can attach it to specific clients. So I can do it in three clients all at once, rather than having to go and attach and create a job for every single one. I can do it all in one hit. Whereas I did it before, I forgot to do that. I forgot to do it as a job template. I created it as a job. Now that I've done that payroll processing, if I now search up here for payroll processing, come on. In my scheduled jobs, I should have, is it payroll processing I did or STP? Just going back to my, it was STP, no. Now when I go to my scheduled jobs, I should see the STP ones I just did, not payroll processing. That was the first task. So you can see here are the ones that I created by attaching them. And in here, you can now see what dates they've been picked up for, all the tasks that have copied across, etc. So just double checking again. So as I said in here, once again, if I went here, attach to clients, and you'll see here, see this little indication here when you attach it, that will put the client name at the front. If you don't want, and so if you do that, you'll see what it's going to show it as. If you don't want that, just take that out, because if you take it out and I attach it to that one client, rather than having the name at the front, so it's created that one. I don't think I did that last time. Scheduled jobs, Cholino should come up now. You see here, the name is not at the front like it was in this version. I prefer not to put this here because the client's name is already here. And you can search through here by job name, by client name, status, when it next occurs. You can choose in your scheduled jobs, you can choose in the My Jobs, you can choose in several areas here. Now, in any of the jobs that you create, once you've created it, there's nothing stopping you going through and editing it. If you want to change the frequency, the start date, you can also assign it to your different people in your team. But these people need to have their own GovReports license. So now that you've done that, if you look at My Jobs, it will actually list a summary of all the types of jobs. And if we go across here, you'll see the status of them. So when you go through and actually work on your jobs with your clients, in here, as you go through, you can actually go through and either edit here, or you can actually go through and update the status in bulk. And you can see then at a glance where each job is at. And if you've linked it with the calendar, which is a function that we have ability to, it will appear on the front dashboard area, and you'll see the statuses and the due dates. So you can see all the different ones here. You can also in here, you can filter by overdue jobs, upcoming, closed, archived, etc. Or in here, you can say, I just want to look at the ones that have a status of, where's my status? Or have been allocated to specific people. So if I want to just say that one, I can search for anything that's associated with Joe Blong. He's got nothing. Whereas at the moment, it's all associated with me. So you can see you have that functionality of filtering things, getting a very quick snapshot of where the jobs and tasks are in your business. So this way it gives you that control at the tip of your fingers. That's a brief summary about Office Practice Manager. Likewise, the help feature, I was able to set up Office Practice Manager. It took me about a day to get the basics. Once I thought about how I wanted it, it took me about a day to do what I wanted. And then because I had existing checklists, I just duplicated those as tasks within here. And then I created all my jobs and attached it to all my clients. So it probably took me 2 to 3 days, bringing everything across from my old system the way I wanted it. And it gave me also a chance to redesign how I wanted things. So, you know, managing, you know, bringing your customers on board, managing communications with the ATO, managing your practice and the workflow is all happening here. The last thing we're going to look at is the digital authentication. So once again, as I mentioned, we go in through the little cube here, and I'm just about to share this tab with you, so it'll come up. You should be able to see the digital authentication screen now. This is a board and captures not just signatures on your BAS and IASs and tax returns, but allows you to send other documents from here. So one of the things I want to show you, though, is the first thing is you have this new document area here that you can create a new document. You have the settings in here. You also have the area here of signature. So in here, I've typed in my name and my initials so that I can go through and customize my signature. So that's one of the first things you want to do. The second thing you want to do is look at the messages that are actually going out with your documents. So what's the message you want to send when you send the TPAR? What about the monthly IAS? So in here, I've got this one here. If I want to just view it, it will show me here, dear, thank you for this, blah, 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 blah. If I want to edit it, I can click the edit button and do that. So, you know, different things you can set up. The ATO communication, you know, I noticed the ATO sent this, please let us know if we can be further assistance, blah. TPAR, you know, for your review and signature. So I use this for sending out the quarterly super, well, soon to be payday super authorizations so that I can press the button to let it go out through the direct debit system because it's not my bank account. I could press that button, but if it's not authorized by them, that is not good. So I have a process in place where they authorize it. I've now got to look at a different way to get around that because I can't do that every 5 minutes. So Payday Super has got a little thing in that. So set up your signature, set up your messages before you do your new document. So here you can send a document or you can actually sign a document. Now, when you send a document, and I'm just going to pull in a document that I have got here. It's just for the, you know, I'm just going to put something in here. That'll do, because it's not going to be sent. I would choose the message. I can choose the message that I'm doing. I'll just do ATO communication, I'll do, just for the moment. I can put in here about reminding how many number of days before I want to be reminded that it's, you know, going out. I'm just going to put the M on the end there. And how long before the document expires. When I go to the next screen, and I go to the next screen, in here, this is just a form. It automatically, because I had it in the signing area, it automatically, you'll see it picks up a pencil for the signature. So I could choose to put the signature wherever. So in here, I might put the signature here. I might want the date signed here. And because there's multiple pages, I might want, you know, and there might be something in here that I'm wanting them to go through. And I've thought, oh, look, they haven't given me their fax number. Not that that's really important these days. Let's say they want I want a fax number. I'll put a T in here because they'll need to put that text in. So then I would go through and I would send the document to them. So when I send it, it will send it out to them, and it's secure, it's encrypted, depending on what you've given them, email or mobile phone or whichever you may have given them, and it will send it through. It's usually email. It will send it through to them. They will open it up. It will send them a code to open. They'll go to open it. It will prompt them for a code which it'll send through to them, and then they'll enter that in and they'll have access to that document. Once they've signed it, it comes back to you and it pops back in to the area here in the main dashboard. So I'm just going to save this as a draft for the moment. And now when I go to my all my documents, I'm just going to close this screen. I can see here that it's in draft status because I haven't sent it yet. But you can see this one previously came back signed. And once they're signed, you have the ability to archive it in here. So you always have a status here showing you where those document stages are at. So if they're not signed yet, depending if you set the reminders up, it'll also come up and tell you about the expiring documents. It'll show you what's expired. You can, if you don't want that, then you can void it. No, sorry, wrong thing. Went back. I want to go here and void it. Created in error.
Before you do that, Ali, because it has not been sent, it's in draft, so you can actually delete it because the client has not received it. So if it has been sent to HR, then you void it and let the clients know why it's being void, the reasons. But if it's in draft,
it's in delete. That's right.
Yeah.
So down here though, I can't void it because it's already been signed. But if there's one that's out for signature, pending signature, then the void. So that brings us to summarize what we've covered just then. We looked at our Office Practice Manager for streamlining our processes, how we can create tasks, our jobs are at. We can then utilize our digital authentication for capturing signatures to send documents, but we can also sign documents and send them. So if I want to send a signed document to the bank, I could do that through here, knowing that it would be secure as opposed to just scanning it and emailing it, which I don't like doing. So that pretty well covers onboarding new clients from start to bringing them in, to having a look at the various management tools available, to creating letters and templates for it, for setting up Office Practice Manager, where I was having a few little issues today. But Office Practice Manager is quite easy once you get used to the flow of it. Set your tasks up first, do your jobs, and then utilizing our digital authentication for signatures. So when getting everything done in one area completely. That's about it from me.
Great job as always, Ali. If we haven't had any questions coming yet, which is pretty rare, so feel free to pop them in now. We've only got a few minutes left, so we've done well for time.
Everybody's tired.
Yeah, I think we've all had a busy day today. But if you do have any, just pop them in. It's pretty much perfect timing that'll wrap up with a few minutes to go. Just while we do that, I just sort of mention our next webinar is on the 24th of March. So having a break for a couple of weeks, and that will be a demo of the actual tax returns. So if you are a tax agent, it's kind of not a separate part of the system, but it's, you're sort of getting right into the detail of tax returns as opposed to sort of workflows and so forth. It'd be quite different and quite good to look at. Apart from that,
Yeah, I just put a comment in. As part of the ATO compliance requirement, client ID verifications is required. So for the onboarding of new clients going forward, I think from the new financial year, we'll have the inbuilt the client ID verification. So when you add a new client, that will be part of the process. And once you verify the clients, you can then add them onto your agent portal. And of course, before that engagement process, as Ali has just mentioned. So perhaps when we have this ready, we will send out emails inviting you to the new sessions where we talked about the process of how to ID your clients from GovReports. Yeah, we still don't have any questions coming in, so look out, watch this space. There's more to come in this process.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we might wrap it up and get away a few minutes early. So again, thanks everyone for attending. If you want to speak to us offline, just feel free to reach out. Thanks to Ali for presenting again. Thanks to Tiana for your support. And we hope to see you at the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a safe trip.
Thank you. Bye.